Edward VI was born on October 12, 1537, at Hampton Court Palace. He was the son of Henry VIII and his third wife, Jane Seymour. He was named after Saint Edward the Confessor, one of the last Anglo-Saxon kings of England, who was also the patron saint of the royal family. Edward became King of England at the age of 9 upon the death of his father in 1547. At the time of his accession, England was a country deeply divided over religious issues, with a significant portion of the population remaining loyal to the Catholic Church, while others embraced the growing Protestant movement. Edward was a devout Protestant and was heavily influenced by Protestant reformers such as John Calvin and Thomas Cranmer. He was raised in a household that was steeped in Protestant theology and was taught by tutors who were sympathetic to the cause of reform. During his reign, the Church of England underwent significant reforms, including the adoption of a new Book of Common Prayer in 1549. This book, which was written in English, replaced the Latin Mass and made other significant changes to the liturgy of the Church. Edward's uncle, Edward Seymour, Duke of Somerset, served as Lord Protector during his early years of reign. Seymour was a supporter of the Protestant cause and was responsible for many of the religious reforms that were implemented during Edward's reign. Under Seymour's guidance, England became involved in wars with Scotland and France. These conflicts were largely motivated by territorial ambitions and were intended to expand England's influence in Europe. In 1549, there was a rebellion known as the Western Rebellion, which was a response to the religious changes implemented by Edward and Somerset. The rebellion was led by Catholic nobles and commoners who were opposed to the reforms of the Church of England. The rebellion was eventually crushed, but it highlighted the deep divisions that existed within English society. In 1550, Edward became seriously ill, and it was believed he had tuberculosis. His illness was a major cause for concern, as he had no heir, and the country faced a period of uncertainty in the event of his death. During his illness, power shifted from Somerset to John Dudley, Duke of Northumberland. Northumberland was a powerful noble who was sympathetic to the Protestant cause and used his power to promote his own interests. He was responsible for many of the reforms implemented during the later years of Edward's reign and was a major force in shaping the religious and political landscape of the country. In 1552, Northumberland implemented significant changes to the Church of England, including the abolition of the Mass. This move was intended to further distance the Church of England from Catholicism and to promote a more Protestant theology. Edward was an intelligent and well-educated young man and was interested in science and technology. Despite his youth, Edward was deeply involved in the affairs of state and was an active participant in the government of the country. He was consulted on many matters of state and was involved in the decision-making process on issues ranging from foreign policy to the economy. In 1553, Edward became ill once again, and this time it was clear that he was not going to recover. With no children of his own, Edward named his cousin Lady Jane Grey as his heir, bypassing his half-sisters Mary and Elizabeth. This move was widely criticized and was a major cause for the political upheaval that followed. After Edward's death on July 6, 1553, at the age of 15, Lady Jane Grey was proclaimed Queen by Northumberland and his supporters. However, her reign was short-lived, 9 days in fact, as Mary Tudor, Edward's half-sister and the daughter of Henry VIII and Catherine of Aragon, gathered support and overthrew Jane's government. Mary Tudor became Queen on August 3, 1553, and immediately set about reversing many of the religious reforms implemented during Edward's reign. She restored Catholicism as the official religion of England and persecuted Protestants, burning them at the stake, earning the nickname Bloody Mary. Edward's legacy as a monarch is somewhat mixed. On the one hand, he is remembered as a devout Protestant who oversaw significant religious reforms in the Church of England. On the other hand, his reign was marked by political instability and conflict, and his early death left the country without a clear heir. Edward's reign was also notable for the role played by powerful nobles such as Somerset and Northumberland. These nobles wielded considerable power and were responsible for many of the major decisions made during the period. Despite his youth, Edward was a well-respected and intelligent monarch who showed great promise. Had he lived longer, he may have been able to leave a more significant mark on the history of England. Edward's reign is also significant in that it marks a turning point in the history of England. The religious reforms implemented during his reign laid the foundation for the development of the Church of England, which would play a significant role in English history for centuries to come. Additionally, the political instability and conflicts of his reign helped set the stage for the more stable and peaceful rule of Elizabeth I.